This is a demonstration video of the Isoforce Outrigger Dynamic Orthosis, showing fabrication steps with Orficast more. Isoforce is a uniquely designed outrigger that is attached to a dorsal-based hand orthosis. Its purpose is to increase passive joint range of motion in a stiff proximal interphalangeal joint. With Isoforce, you know exactly how much tension is applied and you are able to adjust the tension. You can also control the angle of pull to the middle and distal phalanges without damaging the ligaments and PIP joint structures. The Isoforce unit consists of 8 elements: the entrance to the pulling point, the distal lever arm, the pegs, the proximal exit hole, the anchoring holes, the canal, and the grooves for shortening. This tutorial will show a step-by-step fabrication of Isoforce in combination with Orficast more, a thermoplastic material on a roll. We will be using Orficast more 15 centimeter or 6-inch width. First, create the base orthosis. Draw a pattern of the patient's hand to include the proximal phalanx of the involved finger with enough material on the ulnar and radial sides of the hand to create the circumferential base. Make a hole for the thumb. We are creating a hand-based MCP flexion orthosis using Orficast more, 15 centimeters or 6-inch width, to isolate one finger. Activate the Orficast material in heated water to 65 degrees centigrade or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Pat the material dry and place the patient's thumb through the hole and the material on the dorsum of the hand. Place the involved finger in about 40 to 70 degrees of MCP joint flexion. Pinch the material together at the ulnar border of the hand. Make sure to cover the sides of the PIP joint to cover the axis of motion on both sides. Trim the material away to allow for wrist and finger motion, specifically for PIP joint flexion of the involved digit. Next, attach straps. Loop an adhesive-backed hook to secure the orthosis to the hand. Mark the axis of motion on both sides with a marker. This is where the Isoforce unit will be placed. We are now ready to attach the Isoforce unit to the base orthosis. Select the appropriate size of Isoforce, small, medium, or large. Using the heat gun, briefly heat up 2 small pieces of Orficast and cover the pegs on the inside of the Isoforce unit. Place immediately on the marked axis of motion of the PIP joint on the base orthosis. Secure with pressure and fix into the base orthosis. The Isoforce unit should move easily forward and back with the pegs securely embedded in the holes. Create a finger cuff from Orficast 3 centimeters or 1 inch wide. The finger cuff should cover the volar middle phalanx or the middle and distal phalanges for a longer lever arm. Let harden and trim the sides. Take 2 small pieces of non-elastic thread. Make a knot at the end of each one and cover the knot with dry heated Orficast material. Slightly reheat these knots and attach to each side of the finger cuff to secure. Here we will use elastic thread for a dynamic pull. Tie a knot in the elastic thread and cover this with dry heated Orficast material. Thread the opposite end through the pulling hole. Rethread this through the dorsal groove on the dorsal part of the Isoforce outrigger. This thread manipulates the Isoforce outrigger and exits through the bridge. The Isoforce unit is now ready for attachment to the base orthosis. Place the orthosis back on the patient's hand and secure the straps. Place the Isoforce outrigger back in its place with the pegs aligned with the PIP joint axis of motion. Place the finger cuff on the involved finger. Use an Allen wrench or an other straight object to select a hole in the Isoforce outrigger that provides a 90-degree angle of pull to the middle phalanx or the middle and distal phalanges combined. Thread the non-elastic thread from the finger cuff through the appropriate hole and tie a knot. Create a tunnel from a small piece of Orfit tube or from a small piece of scrap material on the dorsum of the orthosis. Pull the elastic thread out of the bridge hole of the Isoforce unit and thread this through the Orfit tube or tunnel positioned on the dorsal orthosis to ensure alignment. The Orfit tube can be lengthened to allow for moderation of the tension. Tie a knot in this elastic thread and place a sliding loop knot on top of the thread to create tension. The sliding knot can be adjusted to increase or decrease the tension. An alternative solution is to place hook strap on the base of the orthosis and tie loop strap to the elastic thread. Let your patient don the orthosis and pull the involved finger into PIP joint extension. The tension can be adjusted by securing the loop strap from the outrigger onto the adhesive-backed hook on the base orthosis. Any excess lever arm can be easily trimmed away. The patient should feel a slight pulling sensation as the finger is held in PIP joint extension, but not pain.